Welcome to our brand new series, Why You Do This and Don't Realize It. In this very first explainer, we are diving deep into a feeling we all know, but almost nobody really understands: procrastination. And we're going to get into why it is not at all what you think it is.
So let me ask you something. What if that thing you've been calling a discipline problem, a character flaw, what if it's actually an emotional escape hatch? And what if, just by seeing it for what it really is, everything could change? That's the huge idea we're unpacking today.
You know this feeling, right? You've got that one really important thing on your to-do list. But suddenly, organizing your bookshelf seems incredibly urgent. And here's the thing. While you're avoiding that big task, you're not actually relaxing. Procrastination doesn't feel good. It's this constant draining hum of anxiety in the background, just quietly chipping away at your sense of self.
Okay, this question right here, this changes the entire game. The moment you shift from judging yourself, why am I so lazy, to being curious, what am I avoiding feeling? You stop the shame spiral dead in its tracks, and you open the door to figuring out what's actually going on.
And here it is, the core idea. Procrastination is not a character flaw, it's a coping mechanism. Think about it. We put things off when a task makes us feel something uncomfortable. Maybe it's stress or self-doubt or fear of failure or even just pure boredom. Your brain, in its effort to protect you, just wants to avoid that bad feeling.
And this shows exactly how that habit gets wired into us. It's so simple, it's brilliant. A task makes you feel bad, you do something else, anything else, and for a split second, you feel better. Your brain immediately logs that as a win. Hey, avoiding that thing brought relief. And just like that, a powerful self-reinforcing loop is born.
Have you ever noticed this? You can spend hours alphabetizing your spice rack, no problem. But starting that passion project, that business plan, that novel? Impossible. That's because the things that really matter are tied to our identity. They force us to look at the gap between who we are right now and who we want to become. And wow, that vulnerability can be terrifying. This is the internal monologue for so many of us, isn't it? We treat procrastination like it's some kind of moral failure. We think if we could just be tougher on ourselves, yell a little louder, the problem would go away. But you know what? This approach almost always backfires. And here's the paradox. What's so fascinating about this? Beating yourself up just adds another layer of negative emotion, shame, right on top of the pile. And if you're already avoiding a task because it feels bad, well, adding more bad feelings just gives your brain an even bigger, better reason to run for the hills. And you can see that downward spiral right here. The original discomfort from the task gets multiplied by the shame of avoiding it. Suddenly, the task feels monumental, impossible. This, of course, makes you avoid it even more, which creates even more shame. It's a perfect trap. So let's be really clear about this. You're not avoiding that important project because you don't care about it. In fact, you're probably avoiding it because you care so much. The real issue is that you just haven't learned the skill of sitting with that uncomfortable, awkward feeling of just getting started. This isn't a character issue, it's a skill gap. So, how do we break the cycle? It all starts by asking this new, better question. The moment you ask it, you interrupt the automatic pattern. You switched from using brute force to using awareness. Maybe you're avoiding the feeling of being an amateur or the fear you won't do it perfectly. Just naming the feeling starts to take away its power. This chart lays out the whole strategic shift beautifully. See, the old way is all about pressure and ridiculously high stakes. The new way, it's about compassion and lowering the barrier to entry so low you can't help but step over it. Instead of demanding a perfect finished product, you just give yourself permission to do a messy, imperfect job for 10 minutes. That's it. Think about it. Once you're actually in the work, it's almost never as bad as you imagined it would be, right? The real battle, the entire war, happens in that single moment of transition. That moment you go from not doing it to doing it. Your only goal should be to just cross that threshold. Now here's an even deeper layer. Sometimes procrastination is a form of self-protection. By putting it off, you get to protect this beautiful fantasy that you could be great. If you actually try, you risk discovering your current limits. Procrastination keeps your potential safely tucked away in the land of what if. And this is why this all matters so much. This isn't just some harmless quirk. Over time, procrastination has a huge cost. It starves your skills of the practice they need to grow, it wears down your self-trust, and it slowly, quietly lets your life be shaped by what you run from instead of what you run toward.
Ultimately, building this new skill, the ability to feel these uncomfortable feelings and act anyway, it all comes down to one person. It's you. The power to change this entire pattern is and always has been completely in your hands.
This is the core of real grown-up progress. True freedom isn't the absence of difficult feelings. Freedom is knowing that you can feel discomfort, you can feel doubt, you can feel fear, and you can still take the next small step anyway. That is real power. So here it is, your new toolkit. This isn't about waiting for a magical bolt of motivation. It's just a simple, repeatable process. First, notice what you're feeling. Second, give it a name. Third, lower the pressure. Make the task smaller. Fourth, aim to just start. And fifth, take that first tiny step across the line. I want you to really let this sink in. You don't have to get rid of the resistance. You just have to change your relationship to it. Self-trust isn't built by waiting for the perfect moment. It's forged, one small, uncomfortable, but meaningful step at a time. So, now that you have this new way of looking at it, what changes for you? What's that one task you've been avoiding not because you're lazy, but because you're afraid or you're uncomfortable? And what's the smallest, most ridiculously tiny step you can take to cross that threshold? Maybe even today.